Hello and welcome to a review of I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World, or I Got a Cheat Ability in Another World. Now, after last week episode of disappointing, by the way, last week was a flop. You know, I was waiting for that episode to come around because I actually want to know if they were going to follow exactly how it is in the chapter. But apparently it didn't. They added things that it should have happened. And like I said before in my video, please read the chapter. And it irks me so much that I had to reread that chapter and look at it reread it because it was freaking great. Especially what he did to the main boss of the Red Ogres, which, by the way, was better than this one. So, last week was the disappointing episode. And I get it, they're trying to rush it all, because with 13 episodes of this series, they're gonna rush us to the point where we're like, what's the point? Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying these 13 episodes is gonna be rubbish. I'm not saying it's gonna suck. But this is a decent, I won't say not as high isekai thing, but this is more your run-of-the-mill decent isekai, like a D or C tier at best. Not as B tier. I mean, don't go too far. But it's like a D and C. So give them credit for getting us somewhat of a decent isekai. Now, we're on episode 5. And was last week's worse? Was this episode a redemption? A redeemable episode? Well, let's get right to it. So let's get right to the review of I Got a Cheat Ability in Another World. Now, we're on episode 5. We kick things off with an episode called New Member, which we're not surprised for us fans because we read it. We read what's going to happen. So as he goes to the isekai world once again, he see a dog get beat up by a king oak. And let me tell you this. That scene, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, guys. To see this little puppy, this little dog getting his ass kicked by a giant ogre, throwing his giant sword around him, kicking him and stomping him. Yo, that's some animal cruelty bullshit. And it breaks my heart to see that. I had to skim it. Like, I don't want to skim it. I want to see what it does. And the stomping and everything is so cruel to watch. Then leave it up to Yuya to save him in his last breath. And this dog is level 500. And I'm going to get to that guy. I'm going to get to that guy level 500. So he saved the dog. And the dog is lonely too. And Yuya welcomed him to the family. And he named the dog, the black dog, Night. Not with a K, Night. N-I-G-H-T. Now, that's a cute little puppy he has. It's really cute. Let's not front it. It's really cute. So he takes him home into the real world. He don't want to leave him in the isekai world. Take him to the real world. Okay. Looking at that scene, I'm like, wait a minute. So you could take anything from it. Well, he could take any isekai character and put it into the real world. Just imagine if he takes a princess. If he would have taken the princess that come with me, I'll show you to the real world. He could do that too. He could take a freaking axe into the real world. Just imagine, guys. If you were to take a potion that heals you automatically and you take it to the real world, do you have any idea just how money you're going to make out of that? You'll be saving lives. They're going to call you God, etc., etc. But that's here and there. Okay. So now that he got his dog, being part of the family, he's not alone anymore. He got his harem, but he got a puppy. He got a dog in his life, so that's fine. So now he got a dog. Now it's all about, like, what to give him for the dog. What to give him. And leaving this Kaede being all close to him. Again, the harem is breaching up to this point now because now he got 4. 5 if you count the side character. But other than that, Kaede just walked him around, go like a date, but getting some dog supplies. And it was cute to see the dog it's good to see Night. I ain't gonna call him dog. It's great to see Night on a collar, being up training wall. Now, he goes for a walk. Now, again, this is different from the manga. I understand they're trying to read. I think what they did is they read this chapter and they're like, okay, we're not going to put this and that. But they at least they were trying to get, they were following the manga at least. I mean, yeah, they left out a few things, but at least they follow what was the chapter all about. Because I think it was the chapter 13, 14, and half of 15 they covered that one. Okay, so he's walking with Knight, and all the girls are starting to like him. And then here come Karu. Just out of nowhere, just looking at Yuya and the dog, you know, petting him. And everybody's looking at this like this some kind of fantasy, this some play. A handsome guy, the most beautiful girl, and a puppy. What can go wrong? Oh, I know. Here come Miyu, the model. Guys, we know where this is going. When it comes to harem animes, let's be real. When it comes to harem animes, this always happens. When the first girl in a harem comes in your play, and then another girl, and then another girl, and then another girl comes in, that girl gets jealous. The first girl gets jealous of the other girls that surround him. Not like the other anime, which I'm going to talk about. The 100 girls think they really cute. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to that. That when it airs, because I've been reading it. But other than that, that's how it is always in harems. There's always the first girl gets jealous of the other girls that surround him. I mean, that happens a lot. In To Love Ru, in Shimano Testament, the list goes on and on of all harems. I mean, that happens. Love Tyrant did that. Yamada Seven Witches. You know, that's how I'm saying. But that's how harem works. So he sees Miyu right there, and now it's just like the whole drama is set upon. Look about it. You got a handsome guy, a cute little puppy, the most popular, beautiful girl, Karu, and a model. That harem is there, and you can see in Karu's face that she is so jealous of Miyu, given the fact that she's a model, and given the fact that she's famous, more famous than her, and talking to Yuya, that's kind of like the cycle of the romance is going to play. Okay, now, and then the whole robbery thing. The whole robbery was pretty good. It was a good robbery. I like Knight. What a rhyming. I like Knight. The fact that that dog was able to drag that robbery's ass, the way he was dragging his ass, like, I got him. He was dragging him. The fact that he dragged him, like little puppy could drag his ass. I love Knight. That's the best pet around. That's the best dog I've ever seen right now. I mean, like, I know there's other dogs in the past, but this dog right now, this year, is a badass dog. Okay. And then the robbery trying to stab you, and then he did martial arts skills. Remember, he learned cheat skill in another world, and he stopped the robbery and saved Karu from getting stabbed. And yeah, there were moments like when he saved with the grandma. I mean, they left out some dialogue into that. Okay, but still, that was a good episode from in the real world. Now we're going to an isekai world where he training and he fought this crystal deer scene, which was good. I mean, this Todoroki-like deer. You know, gotta love the battle scene with that. But the CGI kind of had its flaws at times. It went from back and forward. I'm like, the animation, it was kind of like, the CGI kind of go back and forth like it's terrible, but it's good, and back and forth. But the fight scene with the deer that Knight and Yuya did was fantastic. I mean, the teamwork was really good. And that's that. Another thing is that and then he unlocked a bath. He unlocked that little, facing that crystal deer, he got a cube that's opened up to bath. And not just any bath. He could put a bath anywhere he wants. But why would he put it in the middle of the forest? That's the thing. You put a bath in the middle of the forest. We're in the dark regions of the isekai world you're in. And you're going to put a bath there? You could have put that in the house. Or in your grandpa's house to make it more roomy in the house. You know, I'm just saying. You could bring that there. But that's here and there. Okay. And they fought other battles as well, and they leveled up. But can I go back a bit? It's kind of funny to walk your level 500 dog with you. I mean, it's like a Pokemon. You got a level 100. It's like having a level 100 Growlithe, and you're walking with it. So imagine you're walking with in the park with Knight at a level 500 dog. It's casual. Yeah, it's casual. Just walking with my level 500 dog. Nothing to see here. Okay. So as the training ends, they enter this sage cave where they meet a dead magician. Which, by the way, you got to read chapter 15 because they covered like 2 pages of that entering the cave, and then you got to go like all the way down. So that cliffhanger ended in this episode where he opens the book, and you're gonna see the story of this sage, the book of the sages. So you see that. Then the ending, and I think we're gonna do this every time. I think in this case they're gonna do this every time, where there's like the cut scenes and there's an ending where they're gonna hire this assassin to assassinate Yuya, which we all know who it is. So for those of y'all who haven't read it or have, watching this from an anime standpoint, you'll figure out who that person is. But overall, here's the thing. I can't lie. This episode was decent. It was decent. It was action at the end, but the rest was more like slice of life. This was more like a slice of life with a harem, with the love triangle come in play, the harem triangle and the rivalry, and the action that we had with the Crystal Deer was great, But it was mainly on that little bit of a slice of life vibe in the beginning, Now, this episode was decent. Not great. I wouldn't call it great, but decent. I mean, last week was horrible. They left out a lot of things, which they should have added. Now, in this episode, yeah, they covered at least 2.5 chapters of this. Wish there was more, but they didn't. I wish they'd follow a few. But given what we got in this episode, I gotta say it's a little decent. Like a 6 out of 10 at best. But overall, this was better seeing the teamwork, the slice of life and the teamwork that Yuya and Knight have for each other. So there's some development later on. I'm pretty sure that people have dropped this because of how it is. But for those who have not and have read the LN and manga series, trust me, you guys might want to read that then. Do I want to continue talking about this? Yeah, because this is Isekai cheat skill. This is this Isekai anime. This is another cheat skill in another world. And not only that, it's like for those of us who have read it already, you're gonna see where this episode's with chapters break down this one. Even though this episode was decent, they left out, but overall, okay. But we are gonna see more developments in Knight and Yuya. And the cases where answers are gonna be solved, like with Karu's case and everyone's case is about like, oh, who is this guy? Is he going to another world? Can he bring people to the other world? Can he bring people to the real world? So it's going to be like some back and forth harem that he's going to have to deal with. So I look forward for next week's episode of I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World. And this, again, the plot may not be better, but at least we got some at least we got to see somewhat of his life now changing up. And I think that's what's the purpose of this episode. Yuya and his life in 2 worlds. And that's what it is. So I look forward for next week's episode of I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World. And I'll see you soon.